Hello and welcome to day 19, I guess it is, of August vlogs. I've got slightly damp hair, so apologies for that. My hair, I'm always apologising for my hair, aren't I? My hair is just chaos and I can never do anything with it that I want to do with it. Just accept it. What was I going to say? Hello, welcome to day 18. Today I was just going to have a little bit of a chat. It's been a really busy day. Tom has just gone to pick the boys up from nursery and school and stuff like that. I have just been doing more of the same that I did yesterday, so just more work stuff. No dyeing today, so nothing overly exciting to share with you, I'm afraid. But I thought I would have a little chat about a different craft for a change and just generally have a little chat. What was I going to say? Post office. Went to the post office this morning, so everything got shipped. It's a little bit scary. I went to a different post office because normally I drop at the delivery office, as I've said earlier in the month. But there's some issues around the timing that they're open, clashing with the school run and just, yeah, all of that. I don't want to switch to drop and go. I really like click and drop. It integrates with Shopify, so it works really, really well with kind of the way that my shop works. But I needed to work out some other way of dropping packages. So I did a little bit of research. I chatted to a couple of other dyers and apparently you can click and drop at the post office and they accept it. I thought, right, brilliant. We have had post office drama since we moved up here. The one I used to go to that was really, really local burnt down about 5 months after we moved to Scotland. So that was fun. So then I started going to another one a little bit further away. The parking was always an absolute nightmare. And I ended up having some issues. I was still doing drop and go at that point. And I ended up having some issues with the woman who kept insisting that I had to send parcels with a value of over £30 international. I had to send them tracked and signed. I wasn't allowed to send them standard. I had to send them tracked and signed. Of course, that's not true. I can choose to send them how I want to send them. I accept the risk of sending them standard if they're over £30. But anyway, she kept upgrading it and charging me more for postage without my permission. And it all became a big thing. So that's when I decided to change to click and drop, which has been brilliant. I've loved click and drop. I like being able to just drop it at my delivery office. That's been fantastic. Then, of course, pandemic happened and my delivery office changed their hours and they're now only open from 7 till 9 a.m. every day. And they're not open on Wednesdays. And yeah, anyway, which was, again, absolutely fine until the schools went back. Now 7 till 9 a.m. is not practical. But anyway, so there's a new post office that had opened up recently, again, relatively close to me. And I thought, right, I'll try this new post office. I went today. It's absolutely tiny. They're only allowed one person in the shop at a time. So I waited my turn. I went into the shop. The guy behind the counter had no idea what I was talking about with click and drop. He was adamant that he had to weigh every single package and process them. And I was trying to say, well, no, they've already been weighed. The weights are already on them. They've been weighed. The postage has already been processed. The postage has already been paid for. All you need to do is accept the parcels and stamp my proof of postage. Anyway, we got there eventually. It took so long. He was doing it all very, very slowly and it was tipping it down with rain and there was a queue of people waiting outside the post office in the rain to get in, and I'm just sitting there getting more and more kind of guilty for leaving these people out in the rain. But yeah, and I checked because I had a few international ones going, so I had the tracking on them. So I've checked their tracking and it is now coming up on the tracking as received by Royal Mail. So they've obviously been collected by the Royal Mail postman and hopefully they should be on their way to you. But yeah, that was my stress for the start of the day. But in other good news, I have just placed another yarn order with my supplier and I've got merino nylon back in stock. So I've been able to order some 100-gram skeins of merino nylon, so that's brilliant. And I've also been able to get some minis. I've been able to get some BFL nylon 20-gram minis. So not my normal mini base, but absolutely fine. BFL nylon is a great replacement for minis. So I will dye up hopefully some Winnie the Pooh mini bundles and some Cornwall mini bundles on the BFL nylon once that arrives, and hopefully get them in stock for Perth. So that's quite good. So I've got a few bits and pieces coming. It does mean I've done 2 big yarn orders this month, which is not ideal in terms of finances for the shop, but oh well. Hopefully Perth will be a good update and restock my account slightly. Right, I was going to talk about some other crafts, and I've still got probably 15 minutes or so before Tom gets back with the boys, so that's good. I was going to talk about some cross stitch. Cross stitch has had a massive resurgence, hasn't it, among the crafty community in recent months. I've noticed lots of people, sorry, I'm really uncomfortable on the sofa, I've got too many cushions. I've noticed lots and lots of people who've been doing more cross stitch and stuff like that. And I have a cross stitch on the go, which you would have seen if you've watched the podcast, and if you watched, I can't remember if I showed it in May vlogs or not. I've not made a lot of progress on it since I last showed it. But I thought I would share it, and I thought I'd share a couple of other things. I was looking for some various cross-stitching supplies, and in the process of looking for those, I found some little complete cross stitches and some incomplete cross stitches. So I'll start with the one I'm currently working on, shall I? It's a little bit of a cheeky one to go in. Ow, I've just stabbed myself with the needle. Ouch. That was silly. Let's take the needle out. Didn't realise that was in there. Ow. It's a little bit of a cheeky one to go in mine and Tom's bedroom. I'm doing a series of 3 of them. So this is the one that I'm currently working on. Home is where the bra is not. And I've got all of the stitching done at the top there, all of the writing done, and I'm just working on that second side of the stitching here. This pattern repeats on this side here. And these are such fun patterns. I've been really enjoying this one. And I've finished another one that's very similar. Make sure I'm not bleeding before I pick all these up. And this is the other one that I finished that's very similar. Now, unfortunately, I have made a mistake in that I've used different sized Ada, which is a little bit frustrating, I have to say. But it'll be fine. It'll just, maybe if I do the third one on something slightly different, then it'll look like I've done it on purpose. Something like that. Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, this is the one I've completed, which is Home is Where the Pants Aren't. I love this little bee. How cute is that little bee? That was such a fun little bit to stitch. And then the third one, I don't think I've got the picture for it in here actually. No, the third one is slightly different, but it's kind of flowers again. It's the similar kind of flowers with a scroll that kind of says, and they lived happily ever after. So my idea is to have one of these on either side and then the scroll in the middle, and they'll go behind our bed in our bedroom. I'm probably not going to get them finished anytime soon. Probably have bought our own house by the time I get them finished, but I'm working on them slowly. Both of these are patterns by Plastic Little Covers, who is on Etsy, and she does all kinds of fun kind of modern cross-stitching patterns. Lots of kind of cheeky ones, lots of kind of different ones, quite a few with like literary references and stuff like that as well. Really fun ones. And then I had a couple of that I'd found. I'm sure there's other ones that I've finished that I've not shared. I definitely did some Flower Fairies ones, which if I can find them, I will show you them a little bit later on. But I used to get Cross Stitcher magazine, and I was absolutely obsessed for absolutely ages with these cats. Did anyone else used to cross stitch these cats? I don't know what it was about these cats, but they did a whole series of them, and they were really cute. And this one's in a hammock. I'm kind of tempted, so seeing these again, it kind of makes me want to cross stitch. I nearly said knit then. Kind of makes me want to cross stitch more of these. And then I found some other really random little ones that I must have done when I was only just doing cross stitch years and years ago. A little butterfly and a little frog. And of course, there had to be a Winnie the Pooh one, didn't there? Again, I think these were all patterns from Cross Stitcher magazine. I think I probably made this one for my grandma. And then I got quite a few bits back. I don't know whether this one ever made it to my grandma or not. Anyway, my grandma loved Winnie the Pooh. Absolutely adored Winnie the Pooh. So that was another fun one. And then there's one that I haven't finished. I have been working on this, and I don't know whether eventually I'll finish it. I'm so close to it, but this is the one that I haven't finished. It was quite a big one, obviously, as you can see, but I haven't quite finished the bottom bit there. I did love this kind of cherry blossom effect on this side though. So really fun, but I loved it when I started it, and it's one of those ones that I kind of look at now and I'm like, I don't know what I would do with it. It's not going to go on display in our house. It's not really my style now, but I enjoyed it when I was working on it, and I kind of think that's the important thing, isn't it? It doesn't matter if it's not going to become anything. It doesn't really matter. It's just nice to keep and look back and see them. I really did scratch myself with that needle. Ow. But yeah, that is all my cross stitch. I will have a little look and see if I can dig out those Flower Fairies ones so that I can show them to you as well a little bit later on. But I'm going to keep it simple for today, having a slightly relaxed, low stress day, hopefully. And then tomorrow I am planning to spend the day dyeing up some of the new bases. I'm going to try some of the BFL silk. I'm going to dye a bit more of the wool cotton, and I'm going to have a go at dyeing the sock blanks. So I will share the process of all of that with you tomorrow. So hopefully that'll be quite a fun, interesting day, getting to have a little look at how all that dyeing comes out. The boys are home from school and nursery and straight out in the garden, which is nice to see rather than on the sofa. Makes a change. I couldn't find the Flower Fairies cross stitch that I was talking about, but I did remember this one, which I don't think I've shared. I love this one. This is one of the only ones, in fact it is the only one that I've actually had framed properly. My Dictionary of Tea. I think this is a pattern by, is it Bothy Threads? I don't know if they're still around. I knit this. I keep saying that, don't I? I stitched this years and years ago, but I absolutely love it. I love all the different little bits. Calamity, Treaty, Blighty, Flirty, Simplicity, PMT, Oddity, Fruity, and Empty. I love that. It was really fun having all the little individual panels to stitch. Makes me want to do more cross stitch actually.